forget about fame. Don't think about fame.
Yeah.
Just do the work. Work. You don't even want the fame, quite honestly. You don't want the fame. You don't want the fame. Ask any really famous person.
Mm-hmm.
No, I maybe changed my mind on that
one. Welcome back to another episode of Sippin on Excellence. I am Dr. Lionel Hunt, and I am always with my man, Coach KJ, Kenneth Johnson.
That would be me.
Every week we come at you guys with the raw, the real, the uncut. We talk about life. We talk about any and everything from politics to religion to art to medicine.
Life, man. Life.
Just everything. And so
Gotta get that medicine.
So every week we talk about, you know what? We're going to bring you this medicine. So I want to tell you guys, today we have a very, very special guest. I've been giddy about this all week, knowing that she was coming to see us. And let's just dive in. I want you guys to give up to the incomparable Annie Lennox.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that rousing roar of applause.
Right. Right. Exactly. Hit the applause button.
I'm so delighted to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
It's amazing.
And it's lovely to be here, just on Sunset Strip, just outside the door.
I know, right?
And it's great. Thank you.
No,
very welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Not at all.
It's so funny because I was trying not to tell too many people who we were having a conversation with today because I wanted to just come out later. But my assistant, Jamie, she's younger than us. And we were talking, she's like, oh, I love her. I love her. She's like, oh my God, you got to tell me how the conversation is going to go. And I just randomly asked a younger group of people today in my operating room. I was like, you know who Annie Lennox is? And it's interesting. The two female nurses and the female scrub tech knew you as the activist.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because when
that's wonderful.
Eurythmics was big, they weren't alive yet. And
you mean they hadn't been born?
Yes. That's what I mean.
That was an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah.
But, these are the 2000s babies,
Yeah.
And they were just like, huh.
Early 30s.
And so then I was like, you'll recognize some of the music, but for you, it's an oldie but goodie. For us, I remember like it was yesterday,
When there were only 4 videos on MTV.
You're talking about
You were
Sweet
one of 4.
Dreams and
Hard times.
all these things. It's like, you're like, oh, this is just like yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this, video on MTV with orange hair and just, it's like, ooh, this is great. But bringing this up in surgery, they're like, huh? So this is going to be a very interesting conversation for people to hear and for us to just have.
Wonderful.
As an introduction, the question I wanted to bring to you. So if you had to introduce yourself to not just me, you don't know me, I don't know you, and the internet doesn't exist. If you had to introduce yourself to me without telling me what you do, what your hobbies are, your gender, or anything that basically anything that I could Google,
Oh, my.
how would you introduce yourself to me?
Something that you couldn't Google.
Pre-internet. There's no Google.
I'm introducing myself to you, and we're in the now.
We're in the
but
now.
there is no Google. I've just shown up.
It's,
would you
I know your name.
Yes, but which aspects of myself do you want to know about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There must be something in that question
No,
that
the
you
question
want to
is,
hear
or
something
is it-
from the answer. And
Or is it, what do you want me to know
what do I
about
want
you?
you to know about me?
I want it to go deeper than the superficial.
Okay. If I were to say where I was born, would that be a good starting point?
I could Google that.
Okay. You could Google that. You could Google just about every single thing about me, actually, and
Except who you are.
as a person, like deep down inside, who I'm a person. See, here's the thing. I think a lot of people have a good sense of who I am because of the fact that I've shared a lot. I've been in the public eye, and I've probably been quite a communicator in different sorts of ways.
Okay.
Through making videos. Now, this is a good start to getting around to answering your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be careful, because I'm elderly and I do forget what I've just said. And I'll need you to, prop me up, guys. Give me some clues.
We got you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Oh, my God.
It's a tough one, right?
This is tough.
Yeah.
The essence. Okay. Thank you. This is a really interesting question. Thank you for that. As a person, I'm highly sensitive. I am. I realize that. Mm-hmm. I'm highly sensitive. I didn't always know what that meant.
Okay.
But when I read about highly sensitive people, everything that came up was like, I tick the box for that. I sort of read people. I get a sense of their presence. I get a sense of their energy, if you like. And it's hard to put these things into words. But I suppose I kind of take in the body language, the facial expressions, the uniform, like which kind of tribe or social standing they may belong to, what they're trying to say subliminally about who they are, these kind of things. I pick up on all of that.
Do you find that as a detriment to you, or do you find it as something that, what, this makes me better?
I know what you're saying.
Like, is that a negative or a positive aspect? Some people say, I'm so sensitive that I take in too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I do get overwhelmed in social settings. I do tend to feel, because actually I'm an introvert. That's the other bit, which is quite an interesting piece to the puzzle, because the other bit of what I do that you can Google is quite an extrovert pastime, is it not?
Yes.
But there's a lot of introspection in my life. Always. There was always an introspective child. I'm an only child. You could find that out on Google. Mm-hmm. But it feels funny to say that decades down the line. But there's a part of us all that stays, the child aspect doesn't leave.
Oh, for sure.
It's contained within our blood cells, almost our DNA, our memory banks, whatever it is, because I'm not an expert in the medical field and I don't know much about science.
But I think that foundation that you speak of is hardwired in.
I think it's easy enough to grasp, isn't it? It's not difficult to assume that as human beings, throughout the passage of our lives, that our childhood comes along with us, our early experiences come, and there are some things that we don't forget. Some of them are great. Mm-hmm. Some of them are not so good.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And so I think there comes a time when we need to kind of address that child within ourselves. And that's what therapy will do. That's the notion of therapy, that we look back on our experiences and we have an opportunity to reassess them with a different takeaway from what our original thinking might have been on a loop. This happened to me, and it wasn't fair, and I shouldn't have, and this and that. And yet, when you have a chance to kind of unthread it and look at each individual thread, it's so interesting. It's so rich.
Last week, we were talking about just that on the podcast, how we were saying you shouldn't, at what point in your life do you stop letting your childhood trauma, using it as an excuse for your current bad behavior.
I remember Mitch told me about that. That sounds familiar to me. Anyway, it sounds familiar.
Uh-huh.
And gosh, I don't know if there's actually is a moment that you can say, well, in 6 weeks, you'll have sorted out your childhood trauma and you'll be fine. It's like, take this pill and it'll all go away.
Absolutely.
Or, you know,
Right.
you'll be self-realize. I think probably until the day you die, that part will always be the part of you, but you'll have a different relationship towards it, where you'll be able possibly to put some of it down that has been irritating you, or the unconscious habits that you've been doing, you know, in interaction with others and in the thought patterns within yourself. You maybe have come to some realization. It's like, oh, I don't need to do that anymore. And then you can start to practice it slowly. Gradually. I think that. I don't know, as I say.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right answer to it. I think at some point in time, we have to stop laying blame, take accountability for it, and then try to work our way through it.
But at the same time, not expecting it to just go away.
I don't think it ever goes away.
Yeah. Because people are either running to it or they're trying to run away from it.
Yes.
Because it's still stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Understand that it's a part of you.
Well, yeah, and like you were saying earlier, it becomes hardwired. Everything we do, even if consciously we don't remember. Like I look at myself, I don't remember anything past earlier than the age of 8 or something.
Really?
Like that. Yeah,
Really?
at all. My father died when I was 5. If he walked into this room today, I'd have no idea who he is.
Right.
But that doesn't mean
it's not
what
there.
happened up till 5 isn't
All there.
in there. You know, creating part of who I am. I just can't blame that because I don't remember it, but it's still there. It helps shape who you are as an individual, I think. You know, and so the question of how would you introduce yourself?
Right.
Let's
get back to that.
Well, this is part of it. It makes you. I've learned today a little bit more about who you are, the sensitive side, and now it makes sense as to how and why you've done so much on the activist side. Calling yourself an introvert while being so outspoken is so
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I know. But don't you find that actually I've grown to think that human beings are actually, there's something, it's very old-fashioned. It's called potpourri. It's dried flowers, you know, and they're a mix. And I think that we are all a potpourri of different ingredients, different elements, and we just get shaken out. And you could come from the same family and you're completely, you know, your brother, you could be twins.
Yes.
And you're completely diametrically opposed. You know, you're very, very different people. I don't know if you have felt that within your family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My brother and my brother, sister and I are very close. We're all exactly 1 year apart and couldn't be more different, you know? And my mom looks at us and is like, I'm the parent to all 3 of y'all.
And they are all different.
We're all very different.
That's interesting,
Very
isn't it?
But I think because the foundation is the same, like where it all started, we still all have some of the same life values because that was instilled as a child. Now, we built different homes on that foundation, but that bedrock is still there.
Yeah.
I think we get along because I am like his brother.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's
And you discovered that.
Yeah.
You
Through
just-
I know his brother well. Yeah.
You know him too.
I know him very well.
That's so nice.
And as I talk to him,
Okay.
like, oh, I get it. You're me.
How fascinating.
right.
He's an interesting guy.
And our relationship is very similar to that,
Right.
which is kind of wild, you know. But yeah, and you can see why when I asked that question of coaching, when it got asked of me, we were all just kind of like, I don't know how to answer that. But then when you really think about it, it's like, how would I answer the question having take away the doctor, take away everything else? The first thing I would say is, I'm a man who's living his life on purpose. And then if somebody wants to dig deeper into what that means,
Okay. All
you
right.
know, or
All
the other
right.
thing I told Coach, I was like,
Great.
I'm my mother's son, if that's what you want. And what does that mean?
Right.
You know, but
That answer from me just came up yesterday. And I said, I'm a student of the human spirit. I enjoy learning, understanding, and appreciating the human spirit. Anyone, all.
Absolutely.
and when you meet people, it now
Beautiful.
drives the conversation. People so often lead with what they do.
What they do.
That's just
Of
that's
course,
society.
it's
What they
the
do.
thing everybody.
It's an easy
Like
What
it
you
used
do.
to annoy me to no end when people used to introduce me. Oh, this is Dr. Hunt. I'm not at work. You know?
Right.
I'm Leonel.
Yeah.
I'll tell if I want you to know what I do, then we'll get into that.
Yes.
But let's just have a
Take
conversation.
some time. Don't
Yeah.
just jump directly into it.
Because people
Yeah.
automatically, like we were saying earlier, have now this vision of who you should be
Yeah,
because now
of
they know what
course.
you do.
Of course.
And it's like, but that's not what I wanted you to see first. You know?
Of course.
And so that question allows you to kind of just open up a bit to everybody around you or the person that's having a conversation with you. And try sometimes to be like, hey, introduce yourself to me, but don't.
Okay.
And you'll
have
see.
Have I done any of that to you yet? Have I given you anything?
Oh, you just did.
I just did.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
all of that.
I have got more.
Trust me. We're gonna be
Got more. Oh, lots more.
absolutely.
When did you discover your voice?
You know, it's a great question about one. Okay. Because, I don't remember a time when I didn't sing. You say you don't remember before you were 8. I remember just singing. And my mother told me I used to sing in my crib,
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to sing myself to sleep as a baby.
That's very cool.
That's what I mean, maybe I've just lost my mind and she didn't say that. But in my mind, that's what she used to say. That's what she told me.
As far back as you can remember,
Yeah.
you've had your voice.
But I always loved singing, and I remember as a little tiny kid, I must have been about 3, and I wanted to learn how to blow, whistle, I mean, now I do it between my teeth, like that. But then it was like, I was trying to make the sound of the whistling sound. And I remember I tried, and eventually I got it. And I was very tiny. So, I mean, just making sound right away intrigued me. And I picked up on everything that I heard. And it wasn't that I honestly, I don't think I have any extra special gift. But the thing about singing was something that I just felt it. I just was so, like, I came alive like we do when we sing. Like, so when I was about 5 or 6, they got me into a little choir. I think my father's side of the family were musical, so they'd already sang in these choirs in Scotland. That's where I'm from, Scotland. Just in case.
Right, just in case you're
you're
wondering out
thinking
there.
Ireland, Australia, maybe you're German. What?
Right.
No, Scotland guy. All right, we'll get back to it. Anyway, and my father played the bagpipes, by the way, another Scottish fact.
Okay.
Right?
But I've always sang. I've always loved music. And I wasn't so great at being taught. I wasn't the best student. I didn't like practicing, and I'm still a bit undisciplined when it comes to, like, you see, that's why I admire you, because you get to that gym so early in the morning. I mean, I'm not fit for human.
And late at night with me.
Yeah.
Or whenever.
Yeah,
but
both.
I admire that incredible focus of being able to just get yourself up, get yourself out, go and do it. And I can be disciplined when I need to be. I can be, but you got to give me the golden ticket or
That
something.
energy for me is particular with particular people.
Yeah.
That one, I'm going to be there early.
This one,
Oh, yeah.
that one over there.
That one
Yeah.
over there.
Because that's extra moments that we can have to share.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yes.
I was like, hey, I gotta go.
Yeah. I know. I live with someone who is, without meaning to always reminds me that I can't be him. You know, I want to be him, actually. I think that's why we got married, darling. So I could be you. But I don't think he holds a similar ambition to be like me. In fact, that would be catastrophic.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's one of the things we like about this guy is because there's no lack of stimulating conversation.
Yeah, it's lovely.
One of the things that we talk about, I started reading more because he started giving me books, which is kind of wild. Reading was my thing because we read so much in healthcare and medicine, journals and all these things that
That's right. Tons.
one of the books he turned me on to, one of my favorites now, is Cast by Isabella Wilkerson. And I talk about it a lot because he gave me that book and it made me read. I was like, oh. And so now I'm like, what do you read next? You know? So I read what he reads and we talk about it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And these conversations, these deep conversations we have when we're training is how this podcast was born. He was like, we should do a podcast. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, but it's, Coach mentioned when did you get your voice? When did you get your other voice? Meaning your voice to speak out, speak up, and speak for.
It took a long time, actually, to be quite honest, because first of all, you know, when you're focused on creating something, you really need to be just focused mainly on that. In terms of creative people that are, you know, because it's not just singing, it's so much, much, much more to everything than that. And where was I now? See, whose phone was that?
That was me.
That was something.
It can never be
doctor.
Maybe somebody urgently needs to see you. What are we going to do about that?
Oh, they're fine to be okay.
They'll be good till I'm done.
So remind me. See,
we were talking about when did you find your other voice?
My other voice.
You know, I was saying the
Well, throughout moments of time, actually. I mean, there's so many moments in time. I come from a family on one side, my father's side, that were very politically conscious. And they were on the left of left, and working class people, Scottish, hard-working, you know, everybody from Scotland, more or less, unless you were the top of the top, everybody was hard-working. That's just part of the makeup of the people, you know. And the ethos that was passed on to me, that, you know, you've got to work hard. So that, you know, that's, like you were just saying, like you had hair cutting, hairdressing, and what was the other one?
Washing cars.
Washing cars.
Yeah.
And I guess you were at college age there.
College, I started just cutting hair.
Yeah, but the cars?
Yeah.
Are you a bit younger, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you then?
Oh.
About 14, maybe?
14, 15.
Yeah. I also had a little job that I would do every Saturday in a cafe. You know, I was 14 and I needed a job because my parents were not going to give me, there wasn't money to give.
Right.
You know, so, but that other voice, let's get onto that. It comes partly from listening to conversations around the kitchen table. It comes from consciousness. It comes from a feeling when I was tiny of, like, I would feel for people. I'd just feel for people. I'd feel sad. I would cry. I would, you know, if I saw, for example, there was a man in Aberdeen, this is the city I come from, and he had a hunched back. Okay. And he had an accordion, and every Saturday afternoon he would be playing on the main street on the corner. And I used to feel so sad when I saw him, because it just was it was too poignant to see him like that,
right?
You know, and I always remember him. But that's something, a sensibility where you feel for others. That's not pity. That's another thing. It's just feeling for people.
Empathy, yeah.
It's empathy, which is one thing. But there are many ways that we feel about each other. And we have to be careful about pity, because pity's a really not a good place, not a
you can
good
feel
thing.
for them without feeling sorry for them.
Yeah, sorry for. So, in any case,
Excuse me.
I was always fairly aware of the things that were going on in the society around me, in the world around me. As you say, very different from before internet and Google. But that seems like a long, far gone time.
Yeah.
Not a golden time necessarily, but it just feels so different now. And we I've lived through that. You're younger, but you've lived also. You have already had some lived experience of changes that have come.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So basically, my activism in the first real thing I got my hands into was HIV and AIDS. And it came from a very, very unusual place. Because basically, being an artist, this is extraordinary. I was invited to the launch of Nelson Mandela's HIV/AIDS Foundation, 46664, in 2003. Mitch knows about this. So, and Dave Stewart, my partner in Eurythmics, was actually the one who kind of made that happen right from the get-go, In any case, it sounds funny to say. I don't want to sound like I'm dropping a name.
Drop some names. Do your thing.
No, I'm not. I don't want to sound that way at all. But nevertheless, through that experience, all the artists were introduced to Mandela.
Okay.
Right? And we were all in awe. We were just all in awe of him because, I had lived through the apartheid era. I knew, to the best intents and purposes, I knew pretty much what was going on in South Africa. Mm-hmm. And I was outraged by it. And I found it very hard to imagine a country where the white supremacists had made it a rule of law that white, black, and brown people have to be separated from each other. I just found that really obscene. I just couldn't handle it.
That's crazy.
Right? So, I was a young teenager, and I heard about these things. And we knew that Mandela was in prison. We knew that, obviously. We'd never seen him. No one had seen a photograph of him for many, many years. Yeah. And actually, I'll go back before the 46664 concert. Actually, my brain is getting into action now. So Nelson Mandela, there was a birthday. I think it was his 70th birthday, if I remember rightly. And it was held at Wembley Stadium. It was a big concert. And actually, they said this concert was a bit of a tipping point, one of many, because people were working all over the world to change the regime there. You didn't always know who they were.
Right.
You didn't always see them. Some people went into prison for that for many years. Some people lost their lives. But in any case, music is a great thing because it catalyzes ideas and hearts and minds. So we, Eurythmics, were part of that concert. And it gives me goosebumps to think about it now. Because I would never have dreamed that I would actually I was never thinking about meeting Nelson Mandela.
I know.
And we never would have thought he would have been released from prison and become president of South Africa.
That was such a far-fetched idea.
It's so
that's
miraculous.
That's a 180.
Yeah.
It is.
Right?
What do you say about that? It's like Mitch says, what do you say, Mitch? You say, you shot it out of the park. Don't you say that?
You hit it out of the park, yeah.
Shot it out of the park. Mandela finally shot it right out of the park. And that made my generation feel that anything's possible. If this can happen in South Africa, anything's possible. So then a year or two later, the Berlin Wall came down. That was another thing. We were feeling so, wow, it's talking about activism. Actually, activism changes things. And it does. It does. But then you have moments of shifting and moments of long moments of stagnation, you know, and oppression and silencing and all of it, regimes of terror, all of that. But anyway, now we have to jump. We have to go to 2003 to the concert. And, you know, he actually took us all to Robben Island prison, where he had been in prison for 27 years.
Heard that is something
you
else.
know, I mean,
Yes.
it was it's hard to even describe how powerful a moment that was. And you have to go by boat from Cape Town. You have to go to the harbour, and then you take a little boat, it's a ferry boat. And people go on tourist tours to Robben Island now. I mean, thank God that it's not used for the purposes
It's not an active
that it
prison
had.
anymore, yeah.
But he took us there, and he took a huge assemblage of press, international press. And this was the moment to announce to the world, via the concert and the artists and the press that had all assembled, to say that there was, and he described it as a genocide. He said that the AIDS pandemic was a genocide that was affecting women and children. They were the front line they were the face of AIDS. These are not my words. These are the words of Mandela. Because he had personal tragedy. His son actually passed away because of AIDS-related illness. So he had a personal thing. And I think that was really the thing that it made him feel like, while he had a very short presidency, he tried to do as much as he could. But when he became a more of a man of the people, let's say, a free man of the people, he made HIV and AIDS one of the priorities, you know, and he hoped that people would take up the mantle and run with it, you know. So he was asking us, could we help in some way? And he took us, and Graça Mackell, his wife, took all the artists to orphanages, to townships, to hospitals, to clinics. Wow. We saw the surface of HIV and AIDS that was killing, it was 1 in 5 people were affected with the virus. And I don't remember how many people were dying, but it was, you know, people were literally
numbers,
dropping like flies.
Yeah, I was going to say significant numbers.
Yes. And I'd always wanted, you know, in my lifetime to really sort of dig deep into something, but I was waiting for the right thing, you know. And in a funny sort of way, I'm not, I don't necessarily believe in destiny or fate, but it did make me really think about the fact that I'm a woman, I'm a mother, and that gives me enough of a basis to go and step into places that maybe white women of my background may not be regularly seen, you know? And so I focused on that because I had lost a child myself, not because of AIDS, but because I had a stillborn baby. And so that was a deep personal trauma, a loss.
Yes.
And I really identified with women who had lost their children. I really sort of understood, wow, I never thought about that before because I hadn't gone through it. It's not often until you've had an experience of something that you actually go, oh, cancer, that's the thing. It actually affects my family or, you know, AIDS or my friends.
Right.
You know. So that was really my
aha moment.
My come to Jesus moment, let's say, without it being Jesus.
Right.
It was HIV and AIDS as it affects women and babies and children. Yeah, definitely.
Did that sort of kind of steer you towards more, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I know you started Circle, right? And that's everything women is how I wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's more than just, oh, I'm a woman, I'm going to speak out for women.
Oh, no.
It seems more of yes, that's part of it, but also something that you deeply felt was needed and necessary and used your voice, your platform to elevate that.
I have tried because I've, on my trips, I actually was working with an organization called Comic Relief, who I know they did quite a few things here, but in Great Britain, every year Comic Relief will raise money through television shows and performances. And at first it just started with comedians in the Royal Albert Hall in London, but then it grew to such a phenomenal thing. It was nationwide, raised millions and tens of millions from the British public, But Comic Relief sometimes sent me with a cameraman and a filmmaker, but very small, just maybe him and a sound guy, 3 of us, And I went to Uganda, I went to Malawi, I went to the Eastern Cape of South Africa. And, you can't just go wandering into people's houses and say, I want to help you.
You really can't.
And
I don't know if that'll go over too well.
You can't do that. You need to really understand the reason why you're going there. You need an invitation and you need to have a purpose. And for Comic Relief, the purpose was to find stories, human lived experiences that people could watch in their comfort of their living rooms and see the disparity that exists between the comfort of the United Kingdom, for example, and they have problems, but in comparison to a country like Malawi, one of the poorest countries in Africa, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
And I'll just round this off for you, because
Yes.
I did warn you that I'm a bit
Oh, no.
long-winded.
Shit.
But what I'd like to say
Love
is,
it.
wherever I went, without bias, I observed that women were doing so much labor. Everything fell on them. To have the babies, to work in the fields, to get the food on the table, to find the clothes to put on the back. I mean, the thought of a girl child being educated is, for many, many people, millions of people living in poverty, it's impossible. It's an impossible dream because textbooks cost, pencils cost.
Everything.
Everything costs money.
Yes.
And if you don't have it, and you have a son, let's say, you're going to send your son to be educated and your daughter's going to stay where she was all the way through, and she's not going to get an opportunity for transformative change, And there are so many issues that I noticed and I saw that were affecting women and girls. Child marriage, for example. I was realizing what that's all about. And women having to have unprotected sex in very, very risky situations where more than likely quite a few of your customers are HIV positive, And that was how I got to learn things like, there's an interesting spread of HIV along the coast of Africa because that's where the trucks go and the truck drivers go. And that's the way it kind
Crazy.
of, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny.
People don't think about that.
Pieces of nuggets of information like that, where you could start to understand the practices and just so many things. I learned, and I still continue to learn things to this day about that virus, about AIDS, about poverty, about cultural beliefs and practices, about inequity, and how basically, from my perspective, there are millions and millions of women and girls living around the world in poverty, a cycle that they'll maybe never get out of unless there's some kind of intervention that creates a change in behavior in the local society, which could be a village. Mm-hmm. It could even be on a city or a big town. A big city or a town. Mm-hmm. They could, for the lack of information, that things could change overnight, when it comes to certain things. So we're no different. We're no different. We're all the same.
Right.
Without information, without certain kind of information, education, function in the brain, things are just going to repeat, you know.
Absolutely.
I think what I'm gathering from you is that it all starts with education and educating while they're young, and then educating society around them that it doesn't have to be this way.
It starts with education, but it also really starts with the political will to invest in education at a grassroots level.
Yeah.
The grassroots level.
Also starts with disruption.
Talk about that.
You got to piss a few people off first.
You have a belief, you hone that belief, and you dive in.
Yeah.
You just cut through. Because that belief is bigger than you. It's not bigger than you. It's
That's
bigger
right.
than you.
That's right.
We're talking about humanity, talking about the human spirit, talking about growth. And people that deserve an opportunity. These people deserve. We use that word a lot with that because a lot of people use that word very, very loosely. I deserve, but these people deserve an opportunity.
Absolutely. 100%.
Everybody deserves a chance.
And everybody deserves maybe even a second chance.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I mean. But it's most people are. If you look around the world, there's a whole lot of people, almost the majority, that don't get the first chance.
No, they do not.
You have a select few that get all the chances, and you have a whole lot of people that get no chance.
That's
you know, you get what you get.
Yeah.
I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Question for you.
I thought it was light. I thought it was entertaining.
No, this is good. I mean, maybe this isn't even going to be that light. You're someone who, over your life and career thus far, has gotten awards, accolades, just things bestowed upon you. If you sat in a room like this and you could see everything that you've accomplished, you could see from your 4th grade honor roll certificate to one of your Grammys to you name it. What's your most proud moment?
So you're talking specifically about my professional trophies or glittering prizes?
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think about that too much. I mean, I'm not being disingenuous to say that. I mean, at the time, I won't shy away from it. I mean, it's always nice to win awards.
Stuff.
You know, everybody has that thing in them where, you'd prefer to win than lose. Because no, it's true. Let's
Somebody's
be free.
got to win. Somebody's got to lose.
Right?
No, but here's the thing. I have to tell you that I hate competition. I hate it so much. It gives me so much stress and so much anxiety. That's why I can't do sports, because I can't stand the competition. And I can't stand that there's winners and losers. It drives me nuts. That it's binary. I want the loser to be the winner.
Okay.
Right? But, in terms of the accolades, I would say that they are in some way some kind of token of some kind of embarrassment, like, yes, we think that you really are good at this. And then you can say, I'm really good at this. Look. And then you go, ta-da! And there they are, right?
Or it's like that stamp of approval saying, you know what, I know I'm good at this. And now you think I'm good at this.
Well, it's true. Other people are giving you some kind of recognition. Where it really counts, especially here, and I'm seeing Hollywood and Los Angeles and, the industry, it's all about me. It's a lot to do with the industry, that they're in competition. And that's why they put them up like sports people. I mean, how can you compare one artist? I mean, a great artist like Beyonce next to an Adele.
Yeah.
How do you do?
You can't.
They're phenomenal in their very, very different ways. I'm just using those two names because they came off the top of my head. But I'm not proud, but I don't kind of polish them every day and tell myself, but the thing is, there was so much work went into everything that we ever did. So much work. whew, and there was so much failure that people don't see
people don't
that.
see that, yeah.
They don't see that. You know, they don't see like the night that you couldn't go to sleep because you knew that you felt like you're having something in your throat that felt like you're maybe going to come up with a flu, and you spend all night, you want to sleep because you've got a gig the next day, but you feel like you'll have the flu. And then you're wrestling with yourself mentally to say, should I tell someone about this? I mean, is there something I should do? Can I prevent this flu from happening? And then the next morning you're there and you're really ill, and you have to tell somebody to bring the doctor in, and they have to check you, and then the insurance people have to come in. And I mean, the stories, I have so many stories about experiences like that were terrifying for me, you know, and I went through a great deal of anxiety about performance. I had so much stress, fear of going on stage.
Really? Okay.
Stage fright. Yeah, a lot of that. A lot.
Has that subsided? You're okay?
Yeah, I'm much better now because
You were having a good time at that last performance. I saw the video.
Yeah. No, that was a video performance, so that's different. Like, I'm not nervous. I'm not intimidated by you. You do understand that, don't you?
Yeah, but you put 80,000 people in a stadium. Does that intimidate you?
I'm sorry. No, I was making light of it. Right. But obviously it went right over your heads.
Do you own the term blue-eyed soul?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. It puts me in a box, okay? I often think about this. And so I was 14 years old.
Okay.
14 or 15. And I wanted so badly to go out dancing on a Saturday night, and I would have to spend a couple of weeks preparing what my presentation would be to my father as to why I had, you know, this, I absolutely, he had to give me permission to go down to the Beach Ballroom in Aberdeen, and they would play Motown and Stax, along with other stuff. But mainly we were dancing. And, you know, at that time, there was a great movement called Northern Soul, and you know, white kids would be dancing with maybe a few other kids of other colours, but it was a white thing.
Okay.
It really was. And that was music that came from way over somewhere like a place called Detroit, you know? But we didn't really know. We heard of what is Motown? I didn't even know at that point what a record company really did, you know? But that music, I can say it now, and I knew it at the time. That music was everything to me. That music was everything to me. It truly, truly was. I heard Stevie Wonder, because you see, this is the great thing about music. It travels. Yeah. It gets broadcast. You had Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. You had Diana Ross and the Supremes. Stevie came across. We had the Four Tops, the you know, everybody. And they all came across because they were trying to break into the market, the European market. Whereas in America, I think it was like, still had segregation.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
At that time.
Oh,
Can you believe it? Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, the Motown artists were, I mean, you know this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying it because I'm so repelled by it. But at that time, all the traveling artists of colour, another colour than this, were segregated. They couldn't use the same bathrooms. They couldn't use the same washrooms. They couldn't go to the same hotel.
Right.
It's just, and it's not that long ago.
It's really not.
I mean, Dr. Smokey Robinson, he'll tell you. I mean, any of the older artists.
Oh, yeah.
They lived
through that. Yeah.
So horrible. And yeah, so you ask about blue-eyed soul. I think music and soul has no skin color. It has no, that's the beauty of it, that it's music is invisible. It touches our sensation, you know, it goes through into here, but it affects this bit, and then it makes you want to dance. And I had to figure all this out for myself after a while, because nobody taught me this is what it is. But I'm trying to explain that I just felt I felt so like this was everything to me, this music.
Yeah.
Right. And also the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Kinks, all these bands, incredible music that was coming out of Britain. And so there was, at that time, there was a lot of crossing over the Atlantic, you know, and people going to Germany. And I mean, you know, just think about Mick Jagger. I mean, Mick Jagger's black inside. He's just white on the outside. Maybe the first.
And he talks about
but,
how
you know,
he was so influenced. Yeah.
Totally. But I'm joking when I say that because I went around now, and I'm going to just disclose this to you because it's quite important. The issue of white privilege, I'll just go straight to the point.
Okay.
It never occurred to me, right? Because I come from a working class background. There was poverty around. And it wasn't hardcore poverty like I've seen, you know, when people don't have shoes to wear and they don't have food on the table and everything's in rags. It's not that poverty. I've seen that. That's different. That's different. Well, there's that kind of poverty here in ways, but honestly, when you go to so-called developing countries,
Yes.
it's
Very different.
So shocking. You just kind of like your whole notion about the world has changed. But so I always had this feeling like, well, I don't see color. I don't see color, right? And how can I be privileged because I come from a poor background? So we're all the same. We're all the same. I believe that. What I failed, and I come to you with, like I say, full disclosure, was that I wasn't black or brown. No one of this skin color actually really knows what it feels like to be discriminated against.
Yeah.
Not just you, but your mother and father and their mother and father and their mother and father before them. I'm so enraged about it, and I always have been. This is a freaky thing that I don't even know why I'm so passionate about it, but it's just extreme injustice that I'm taking the opportunity to express to you now how strongly I feel about this. You know, racism, hatred, bigotry, colorism, all of that. What a pity.
And
What a pity.
I think what's so shameful now is when you hear people say, especially in this country, oh, it doesn't exist like it used to. And I'm like,
No.
It's ever present.
No, it's ever present.
You know,
Even with I feel it living here. I can sense it. This country has a history. This country has a hell of a history.
Yeah.
The country I come from has a hell of a history. All of Europe has a hell of a history. You know, if you're looking for justice or injustice, you know, it won't take you far through a few pages in the history books that tell the truth, the real books that really tell the truth, to stumble across some of the cruelest, most heinous crimes that man could put against anyone. But when human beings want to dominate over each other, they will be horrendous.
yeah.
There will be no limits. They will go further than further. They will take it all. And I'm afraid that the world has not recognized that and does not want to acknowledge it and make the differences and the changes that needed to happen. And when Black Lives Matter movement came because of George Floyd's, the man's knee on this man's neck, everybody could see. And it was a wake-up call. But that wasn't the first George Floyd. There are many George Floyds
before that.
No one saw. Probably thousands.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would imagine, you know. And when I came to America, I had this is back in the 70s. You know, I actually didn't know what to expect. And I watch the arc of time passing, you know, from the 1970s to now we're in 2025. I mean, you tell me, what is the change? I'd love to think that there have been some changes. I'm not sure that there have.
I'll tell you
honestly.
Just growing up in the South, I'm a baby from the 70s, and there's a neighboring town to where I grew up called White City.
Oh, yeah.
That was the name of the city.
Oh, okay.
And for a long time, it said, "Welcome to White City, no colors after dark." And that's when I was alive. So that's not the 40s, 50s. But what we're seeing now with trying to erase history here, you don't erase history unless you're ashamed of it. But to say it, because if you weren't ashamed of it, why would you want to erase it? You would just let it be. But because you're so ashamed of it, and you don't want the next generation and the next generation to feel that shame of their ancestors, you erase it as if it didn't exist and say, it was in the past, why can't you let it go?
Yeah,
right.
We can't let it
let it go without...
That wasn't us.
No,
that was our ancestors.
But the thing is, you can't let it go. We can't let it go because you can't let it go.
Right.
How do you expect me to let it go when you keep showing me that you still want it here?
The error of your ways.
And if you really take a step back and look at the world as a whole, it's not just here that can't let it go.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no.
But because most people here don't travel, don't pay attention, don't see, don't look, they think, oh, it's just here. This is a worldwide problem.
Oh, God, yeah.
But you only think about how it affects you and in your little neighborhood, in your little world. And it's still crazy.
Yeah. Because when I lived in Atlanta and they were going through that flag thing where they were trying to remove the Georgia flag and remove the Confederacy off of it, I used to always say, don't remove it. I want to be reminded of exactly where I am.
Describe what it represents.
Because you guys aren't changing.
Yeah.
You're just trying to change the flag.
Yes.
I want to be reminded.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
That...
But the thing is, I mean, I'm always trying to think of solutions, as my husband Mitch is always trying to think of solutions. And so I want to solve world problems and world issues, and I want to solve inequity. I want to solve the walls of division that have arisen but have roots that go way, way back. And how do we do that? There are plenty of people of this color of skin that want to change it, plenty, but maybe not enough, maybe not enough conversations, maybe, how do you do that without, I mean, the rage, I feel it on your behalf, if that makes any sense to you.
Yes.
I don't know if it does, but
Absolutely
it certainly,
does.
I've lived it all my life, feeling that rage, that outrage against it, and not really quite knowing what to do, because, I think I'm just one person. But in a way, life presents itself with possibilities to you, perhaps. And it might just be that you've never met a person of a different color of skin, black or white, whichever side.
Correct.
And you might just have a chance just to sit and have a conversation.
It all starts with a conversation.
And, this is why podcasts, I think, are fantastic, because you can bring people in and almost have these conversations in a safe space.
Yes.
And really discuss and bring things out into the light in a humane way.
And it's a place where you can find common ground. Even when you disagree, you can still find common ground. And back to what you said earlier about being enraged, it's good for people of color to see white people enraged about injustice, because everyone expects us to be enraged and speak up and do this. But when somebody else who isn't directly affected but is, because we're all tied together, everybody's
100%.
affected. And those who want to water it down just don't like the taste of that straight tequila. They want to, let me water it down a little bit so it goes down a little smoother.
Yeah.
Man, we could go on talking for days.
Oh, yeah, no, I warned you. I warned you. We haven't even cracked.
I know.
We haven't cracked it even.
Before we wrap this up, I have one last question that I want to ask you. Generations from now, what would you, Annie Lennox, want future generations to remember you by?
Oh.
Like,
I mean,
you know, like.
I will answer this question to you. This is a crazy question in a funny way. I am a deeply flawed human being. Mm-hmm. I really am. And I've tried to look into myself to better understand my flaws, or whatever you want to call them, my shortcomings, my bad habits, my negative thinking, whatever it is I have.
Your beautiful scars.
But I have a few, you know, quite a few of those physical ones too. Oh, yes. But I'm going to talk to you about that later. He's the doctor. He's the doctor in the house.
Fine.
No, but I think each day there's an opportunity to sort of meet it, whatever comes your way. And each day you're kind of challenged, isn't it? To like, what am I going to do in this situation? I have found that if I walk with integrity, if I really check in with my values, when I'm in a situation where I really need to think, go deep and really think, and how do I respond to this situation and that situation, I'm a better version of the person I was before, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I have no idea when I'm gone, I'm gone. I really believe that. I'm gone. I'm not here. Well, it's obvious. I mean, wherever else we go, that's everybody can decide for themselves what they believe. But if I can just take care of what I'm doing day to day in the best way I can, that's enough. I mean, I'm responsible for me.
Yes.
So everybody's responsible for themselves. If you do that, your legacy will take care of itself, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's my honest answer to you. That is genuinely how I feel.
That's perfect.
I just live and it's like people used to ask me about fame, and I could talk about that for a very long time because, I mean, I have been in the public realm for many years now, in a way. Mm-hmm. And I stay in the background most of the time. I don't like to live through that lens, right? But fame should be as a result of the music you make, or the dancing that you've practiced, or the book that you've written, or the film that you've made. The fame is not, forget about fame. Don't think about fame.
Yeah.
Just do the work. Work. You don't even want the fame, quite honestly. You don't want the fame. You don't want the fame. Ask any really famous person. Mm-hmm. No, I maybe changed my mind on that one. Some of them like the fame.
Oh, I know a few.
we all know a few.
No, and I don't mind working along with that. That's okay. That's part of the deal. But let's just get real for a minute. Let's just do the work. The rest will take care of itself.
I like that. Yeah. Do the work and the rest will take care of itself.
No,
that's
no, Kenny.
Absolutely.
You know, the fame that, I can see the paparazzi outside the gym. Why aren't they there? They should be there. There's stars. There's important people in the gym. Actually, to be quite honest, in my humble opinion, the real champions of this world are the people that are cutting people open and trying to fix it and stitching them up again, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. The real champions of the world are the ones that are doing the least the most poorly paid jobs that nobody
Teachers.
wants to do, and the teachers and the doctors, the nurses, the teachers, the men that come and do your garbage for you, the lovely Latinx population who come and do all the stuff
that we do not
that
want
we
to
don't want to do.
Yes.
Right? I mean, God bless them all.
Absolutely.
Don't you feel that?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
very.
I mean, I want to love everybody, but I don't. But I want to.
There's some people that make it real hard.
I was always asked one question, like, how many celebrities you train? I said, I will say, all of my clients are celebrities.
Yes.
All of them.
All of them.
That's my answer every
That's
time.
it.
I used
come on.
to hate when people call me and say, "Hey, I have a VIP patient for you."
Yes.
I was like, "Well, they can get in line because they all are." Like you go into a doctor's
Very good.
office and you see
No, it's very good.
you see pictures of doctors and celebrities at their patients and,
Yes.
they're posing.
That's right.
And I'm
it's
just
a
like-
currency.
And for me, I'm just like,
Yeah.
what's more, and this is what I tell people all the time, what's more impressive? The fact that I operated on this person who sold so many albums, or the anesthesiologist in the hospital that came to have me do his surgery.
Yeah.
Which is more meaningful? The one who's actually seen my work and cares, or just somebody famous who
Oh, they're
somebody
both
else
on the
said,
same level for you.
right.
They're
But
both.
when you're looking on the outside in, it's whose word means more to you. Somebody who's seen me operate,
Yes.
or somebody who's famous that
Right.
just came
I
to
get
me
it.
because
I
I have a
get-
name.
Yeah, of course, of
Absolutely.
course.
That kind of thing. But when I look at them all
Yes.
together,
Yes.
if you're in my office, your husband will tell you it's everybody gets the time they need, regardless of who they are.
That's wonderful.
You know, sometimes it puts
wonderful.
me behind. Right.
That's all you need to do.
Right. But it's we all are, I think, at this table living our life on purpose. And I think that's just how we should be remembered, that we lived the way that we wanted to
That's
and that
good.
we should have.
That's good. That's a very good way of rounding this up.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. That your life actually came around to have you came to find it, because it's not easy to find necessarily. Some people feel their lives are pointless, and that's a very lost place to be. You know, I've felt these feelings. Obviously, as a sensitive person, you can.
Yeah.
You know, as a creative person, you go deep into the depths of things, because actually that's the bit that people identify with. They feel that, because you have to have lived it. You can't just go and sing to people, and if they don't feel that thing that you have, something that you're offering, you know, and it's a lot of pain and sadness and depression and joy as well mixed in with that, and beauty,
Absolutely.
and you know, it's the whole 9 yards.
What's next for you?
I think I'm going to go and we're going to have a bite to eat.
I'm with you on that one.
Shall we?
I'm with you on that one.
Shall we then?
Starving. Anyway, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We so
Thank you.
appreciate it.
So
You know,
appreciate it.
and with that, you guys, I am Dr. Hunt. This is Coach KJ.
That is I.
This is the incomparable Annie Lennox.
Here
and
I am.
You all know where to find us on all of our socials. Look us up. It'll be tagged in the
beautiful.
It'll be tagged.
Thanks.
And
Oh, lovely.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks,
We're
everybody.
out.